Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, October the 19th, and it's the pilgrim season is coming to an end here in Santiago. It's normal, but it's been busy. It's been busier longer than normal as well. The last week or so, we've had about 1,800 Compostelas a day, which is high. Yesterday, I saw it dropped for the first time in a long time. It dropped to about 1,000, and you could totally notice that in town. There's less pilgrims around. Of course, you can still feel 1,000 pilgrims, but it's coming to an end this season, which has been a good one after COVID and all that. So that's good. It is not strange that people prefer to walk earlier and not so much in October and November because the rain comes, and we've had some pretty heavy rain showers the last few days. This night, for example, I kind of woke up at 4. It was just raining cats and dogs. It was pouring down, and then it stopped, and we had another big shower about 10 o'clock today. Now it's not raining. I'll show you what it looks like outside. Although I see someone with an umbrella, so it might mean that it's actually started again. It's one of those days, you're in a Camino and you kind of 10 minutes with no rain, then 10 minutes with rain, then 10 minutes with no rain again. It's one of those days. So I had one in the other day that left a suitcase, and he was going down to Porto to do the Camino Portugues. And I asked him if he had rain gear, and as he said yes, he was ready for it. Because, of course, along the coast, we have weather coming in from the Atlantic, and it's with this weather system we have come in these days, you might get rained on. So that's that. I had an interesting conversation with another pilgrim today about how the Camino is now compared to before COVID, and if there's any difference. I asked her if she felt, because she had walked before COVID and she has walked, finished now, and I asked her if she saw anything different with the Camino, and she couldn't really think of anything. And then she asked me, what do you think? Because it's, you're here, you're talking to a lot of pilgrims. And I had started to think about it, and I realized I haven't heard anyone say the Camino was much better before COVID. That's not really something that I hear. So I have a feeling that it's the Camino has kind of converted and come back to what it was before, and which I think is a good thing, because the only thing, and I mentioned that to her as well, is that this year I haven't heard much about bed bugs. I mean, not that it was a big problem before either, but during the summer you would kind of hear it once or twice. People would talk about bed bugs, and they had a situation and they had to clean their bag and all of that. I'm sure there's been bed bugs this year as well, but I just haven't heard much. So maybe COVID was good for something. She was also saying she was walking the Frances, and she had talked to someone that were thinking of walking to Sari and stopping in Sari because after Sari it was so busy. And she was saying that this time it was fine. I just think that maybe she was lucky, since it seems like yesterday we had 1,000 Compostelas compared to almost a double a few days ago. Because she was saying after Saria, there was even parts of the days after Saria she was the only one she could see. And usually there's a line of people walking from Saria. So that's a good thing, So if you really want to stay away from the crowds and you don't like the crowds and you want to experience the Camino Frances even after Saria, I think walking in October, November, or a winter Camino, it's maybe a thing for you. She also said that she talked to someone that came in today or yesterday that she was the only pilgrim in albergue after Saria. And that made me think that if that's the case, it might be the season or the time for some places to start to close down if they want to close down for the winter. So just so you know that if the number of pilgrims go down, the people that are open will most likely also there were few places open, because I guess people want to have a winter break after a long season. What else? Yes, COVID. I know it's not a topic on people's mind right now, but it's still out there. I talked to 2 pilgrims today that told me that they got COVID during their Camino. One person walked the Camino Francés, the other one walked the Norte. Both of them, one she had to take a break for a couple of weeks. She was positive for 10 days, she said, and she was very well taken care of, and she after 10 days tested negative, and then rested a few more days, and then continued and walked on into Santiago. So it seems like it's still a thing. It seems like people are not so stressed out about COVID now as we used to. That might be because we have vaccines now, and the effect of getting it is not as bad as it could have been if we didn't have vaccines. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that if you're planning to walk in the next few weeks or months, just know that it's still out there. There's no, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything on the news on any spikes or anything like that in Spain. So it's just something that they were unlucky to get. In Spain right now, the 4th vaccine is starting to be given out. They're starting with the elderly. I think it's over 80 or over 75 that is getting it now. And then we're being called, as before, called in to get them when our age group come into effect. So I'm assuming in the next few weeks I will get a little SMS message saying that I could come in and get it. What else? I think that's it. Umbrellas are down again. So there you go. 10 minutes with rain, 10 minutes of no rain. And the police is getting ready to write some tickets, because right there where they're parking, there's a lot of you're not allowed to park there, but a lot of people do anyway. So they're just getting ready. Anyway, hope things are good where you are. Stay safe. Ciao.